Wedding cake, gelato, blue sherbs, I'm sparkle. From you see me in my shades, I'm high. He had some regular weed, some lemon and me or cheese. I told him hit one of these and get right. Chillin' watching Narco, big zoo, I'm sparkle. Feet up on a Friday night. I get high with my homies, I get high on my lonely. Smoky, I'm on a Friday vibe. Birthday, give me wedding cake, yeah, loud, just turned 28, G, that's an ounce, neighbors complaining, car it's always so loud, that's the music and the weed, yeah, they know when I'm about, Monday when she hit me, play mode, in the clouds, Friday now it's shorty, one link, said I'm down, bougie little baddie started moaning about me smoking, baby, hate the smell of weed, you better go back to your house, cancel that John and call up a next chick, nothing like a big spliff, neck and Netflix, start with your food, yeah, I for shot the next thing, Cali in the country, got some shutters, X thing, used to smoke amnesia, had to leave that in the past, might forget your birthday, still remember all my bars, women like we got different flavors on me, dog, crush that, strap that, light that, bark up, wedding cake, gelato, blue sherbs, I'm sparkle, from you see me in my shades, I'm high, he had some regular weed, some lemon and me or cheese, I told him hit one of these and get right, chillin' watching Narco, big zoo, I'm sparkle, feet up on a Friday night, I get high with my homies, I get high on my lonely, smoky, I'm on a Friday vibe, hopped out the ride, see the smoke from the car, dog, Chippy, I'm a star, dog, Cali over star, dog, niggas wanna start arms, too high for that, I don't wanna talk, I get too high to chat, shotters can't give me shy food, my name's Chippy, if it's light for the price, boy, I got my own digits, Chippy, you ain't a trapper though, how you know this weed stuff, niggas can't bump me, only for a speaker, if you love Bill Spliff, keep a bill kit, I never ever ask a nigga if he's got chip, I hit this dank, they say it's bad for my health, but no one's got me like I got myself, I don't really see myself quitting these times, nah, I can see me 70, 2, 3, 5s up, women like we got different flavors on me, dog, crush it, then we strap it, then we light it, then we bark up, wedding cake, gelato, blue sherbs, I'm sparkle, from you see me in my shades, I'm high, he had some regular weed, some lemon and me or cheese, I told him hit one of these and get right, chillin' watching Narco, big zoo, I'm sparkle, feet up on a Friday night, I get high with my homies, I get high on my lonely, smoky, I'm on a Friday vibe.
Boom, 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 boom. Year he. What's happening, folks? How we doing? How we doing? Check, check, check. I don't even know how my sound's coming back in. But we're here. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, man. Salutes to you folks in the building, nice and early. USA Ape in the building, 308. Mr. Rasta, salutes to you. Balls and tools, much love. Much love. Me set, lay low. Almost 420. Almost 420. What? Yeah. I'm with you there. Friday, right? Friday. You must have your flavors and whatever makes you feel happy. It's Friday. Happy Friday. I got a bag full of flavors. I've even got some mushrooms, you know that? Finally, I got my hand on some mushrooms. Finally got my hand on some mushrooms. Haven't took them yet, but I got them in my possession. How you people doing, man? It's been a while. It's been a few days, rather. Hope everybody is well. Man, I've been busy. Work home. I've got work tomorrow, which is Saturday. And then I've also got work on Sunday. So yeah, work mode. You know how it goes. But it's Friday weekend. It's the weekend, right? As they would say. That's what matters right now. Got some hours to spare. You know. 8:18. Oh, it is officially 4:20 somewhere, right? It is officially 4:20 somewhere. So, yeah, you know the routine. 4:20 to you folks. Happy 4:20. Happy 4:20. So yeah, like I've been saying, I've been busy with work and other things, but sometimes I find myself going back and listening to old lives and watching old videos of content creators that I follow, whose work I like. Right, so that's always a plus. But there was somebody I was watching the other day again, which is Jay Dreamers, and he was having a good conversation with somebody. And you know me, I like to have a good conversation. Or if I ain't having a good conversation, I like to listen to people have good conversations. Right? I've got two ears after all. Right? I've got two ears, one mouth, so I can listen more than I can speak. All right, so yeah, we're gonna get into some J Dreamers today. You know, good conversation I heard. I heard about 20 minutes of it and I thought, yeah, this sounds all right. It's right up my street, something different. Something different. Ah, my man's in the building. How you doing, Asani? Did I say it right? No, yeah, I think I did. Asani. Yes, I think I did. Salutes, Jacob Fruiton. Happy 420. Happy 420 to you, sir. Um, do you know what I'm gonna do actually? I know you probably come for a quick convo, keep me up to speed. I'm gonna give me a sec, I'll drop that link for you. Maybe you might wanna come up and listen to this segment with me. Give me a second. Just loading it up. Okay, a sec. There you go, my man. Oh yeah, you'll be pleased to know as well. Also, I'm working on something new again, the eyes file, right? We're what, 10, 15 minutes in already, and it's looking juicy already, right? It's looking juicy already. So yeah, I hope you're ready for that one. That's gonna be another banger. That's gonna be another banger. The eyes file, all right? It all leads back to the eyes, ladies and gentlemen. It all leads back to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to put it anymore. It's just, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But yeah, it's becoming one of those things, right? Whenever I see it, sometimes I'm like, finally, right? You're showing yourself to me again, right? Hey, welcome.
What's up, man? Salam.
Salam to you, brother.
Nice to see you. How are you?
To be totally honest with you, drained,
Trained?
drained. Yeah, I may not say it or show it from time to time, but yeah, my my absence sometimes speaks for itself. I'm either resting my body or I'm busy. But, work's got me drained.
Hmm. Do you work third shift? Do you work early or late? You have all different kinds of hours you work?
I do 8 to 4.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you a school teacher?
Am I a
Are you
school
a school
teacher?
teacher?
No.
Yeah.
Am I a school teacher? I would love it. Oh man. Listen, if I was a school teacher, yeah, holidays, 6-week holidays and everything, I would love it. My partner is a teacher, but I'm not a teacher.
Mm. Mm. You guys get along? Are you in a happy relationship?
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I'm in a very happy
Good.
relationship. Happy. You know. Yeah,
That's very nice.
for
It's good
more.
to hear. I like when people get along.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
It's
very
nice. It's
rare
nice to
you
get
hear
along with
that
people.
in this day and age. It's very rare you hear that. Very rare.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was gonna share something with you if you're down.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
Are
did have
you
something I wanted to
do you have
actually
kind of like
play
10 minutes?
today, but we can actually
Okay, cool. Play it.
Oh shit,
What?
Bernie in the
What
building.
up?
What's happening,
I'm in
Bernie?
Vegas.
Where are you?
Live my best life. I'm a Canadian that turned into a snowbird, and I'm like, yeah. I figured I'd just hop on and say hello, live from
Nice.
Las Vegas. Look at this. We got like the high roller thing in the background, the eye in the
Hold on.
sky thing. You can see it. We got some hotels up there. I don't know. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Nice.
Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas. What can we have a little tour while you're here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do a little tour of where I'm at.
Brilliant. You got main screen. We put you on the big screen. So go ahead.
Bam. There we go.
Nice.
So, okay. Oh, I need to back up.
Hold on. Hold on.
Can't afford that. I'm just at a friend's free timeshare. I can't even afford a burger, but hey, it's okay because I'm in Las Vegas and I'm not freezing my ass off in Canada.
That's it. It looks
Very
nice.
nice.
Good
Free
weather.
timeshare.
Canadian in Vegas.
Right? Woo!
Very nice.
Having a great old time.
I didn't know Las Vegas was like this. I thought it was just painted desert region.
So I live in Nevada now for a couple of months. I'm usually just an hour south of Las Vegas. This is a special trip right now, but it's okay. It's warm. It's nice. I got a pool to swim in for a couple days.
Yeah, I
What a
see.
lovely place to be on a Friday. It seems kind of like the resort, like it's a park.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice.
Oh, put my foot in the water. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Do you know what this looks
Hi
like?
guys.
It's giving me Cyprus vibes. I just came from Cyprus not too long ago, and it was a little.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it looks like this. Nice, very nice. Family friendly.
Right? Yeah. Sin City is now family friendly.
Yeah, that looks nice. How long you there for?
So I'm in Vegas for one more day, and then I go down to Cal Nevari. So it's California, Nevada, Arizona tri-state border town that I'm staying at. It's my friend Steve Ellswick. He's the owner of Tesla Tech that I present at the conference. So I'm helping him move into his place, and I'll be there for about a month, and then I'll be going to California for another month. And that makes me a Canadian snowbird. Screw the winter in Canada. F that shit. I'm in America now.
Hey, are you gonna meet up with any content creators?
Yes.
Brilliant. Anyone that
I
we know?
know. Sorry?
Anybody that we know?
No. I got a secret guy. He actually is the one that funded my trip down here.
Brilliant.
So definitely stay tuned for that. But that'll be next month because I'm spending this month in Nevada.
Ah, nice.
He's out in California.
How far is California from Nevada?
It was a 5-hour Greyhound bus, so not far at all.
Okay. Okay.
That was with a couple of stops, so can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a 45-minute flight, but that's too rich for my blood. I take the Greyhound,
Yeah.
aka the bus,
Yeah. I know how that
right? But you got to do what you got to do to live your best life, and
That's it.
hey, we got the Sphere, living my best
yeah,
life.
I see that. Yes, I see it. I see it. Wow, look at that.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that.
So I'm thinking of maybe like going to Walmart, like setting up a couple boxes and panhandling, and then trying to put it all on black, trying to win some money. Just kidding. I'm not that hurting yet.
Nah,
But
not
hey,
yet. Not yet, man.
not yet.
Are you near the Strip? That's the globe there. That's where they do that laser light show, right? The dome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Cool
it. Yeah.
families. They're on the camera. I'm gonna get sued now. Uh-oh.
Strip's nice.
It looks nice.
What's the temperature there?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I can't complain. Free timeshare. Just worked out. My buddy Glenn, who got the free timeshare, he's in like the sales pitch right now. Sucker. His sacrifice is my gain. I love it. Thank you, Glenn. They pressuring him hard to buy, probably. It's a pretty sweet spot. It's 2 blocks off the Strip.
Listen,
So
it's either you're alone in that city by yourself, or
no, I'm with Glenn. Glenn, he's just it's my buddy Glenn's free timeshare. He's just currently in the meeting where they're trying to sell him the timeshare. That's how he got it for free. Is he has to like spend a day with them trying to sell it to him.
Ah, okay, got you.
He's obviously going to say no, but hey, I get to be at the pool while he's getting harassed to buy.
Bernard, what's your story? Where are you from? Are you from Canada? Are you a truther?
Yeah, I'm Canadian. I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The Texas of Canada, thank God. Canada is pretty communist these days and pretty cold, so I had to. So my plan is to stay in America for 3 months and 1 day. So when I'm 1 day past the legal amount, I'm going to see if I can claim that $2,500 to self-deport. Right? Hopefully it's still a thing.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you a builder? Do you build? Are you a gardener? Do you like gardening?
I am a green thumb. I'm green thumb for show. I do build as well. I'm all about building, and I do experiments. I build devices. I build different coil units. I build hydrogen reactors, and I build monoatomic metal makers, specifically monoatomic gold. Nice. I am an alchemist.
He's an alchemist.
Yes, sir. And my channel is the Crypto Alchemist.
Yeah. And you've got a few channels, haven't you? Oh, have we lost him?
Oh, might have lost him. I sent you something in the studio chat.
Let's have a quick look at that. Where is it? There we are.
Now, I've been contemplating how you've been talking about how scripted scripted some of the sets go in life, some of the setting that's happening.
What we got?
Have you ever heard of this theory that there's only a limited number of people who have autonomy, that have the ability to wake up from the conditions? You know, like a lot of people say that there's not sometimes you'll bring information, truth to people, and they won't hear it. They'll disassociate from it.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, that they don't have the capacity to awaken in this existence. They're going to have to go on to try to graduate at another time because of the investment. They've kind of invested themselves in a certain trajectory.
So is this more like conscious dreams? Is this just like astral traveling as well?
Yeah, I wanted to maybe just share with you, see what you think about some of this concepts that he brings to the table, because he's talking about, you know, they're extensive. We don't have to watch all of something. It's just a lot of the idea that we're going through, we're having our experience happening through us. But it does really seem like, if we don't get the bigger perspective, it does seem like our life is happening to us, right? Or by us. All the things that we do to try to get our needs met, to have our results that we're looking for. We try to do all these things without becoming aware of who we are deeper than what our successes and failures are. We're something more than just what we try to accomplish. But if we don't have the capacity to wake up to our deeper sense of self, it's like we have to go on and keep cultivating till we're strong enough to realize it. But we don't cease to exist. It's not like we just go into some type of impersonal void or something.
Personal
We just stop. Yeah, we're just personally just void out. You ever heard of that? Like voidism?
Yeah, but when you said personal void, right, that seemed extra scary.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a quick listen of this. See what's going on here.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Namo Narayan. Namo Narayan. Welcome back. Namo Narayan. Okay, so we are back here.
Is it?
You can't hear it?
No. But it might be playing on the other side, which is good.
Okay. I know what the, excuse me. I've got to share the screen over there.
And I just had to fix the audio for us. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody.
It sounds like he's talking about me. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Scary.
Ooh.
Wow.
Today we are having class number 1 of the Yoga Nidra immersion. And this is not just a part of the 12-week program. This is also a standalone class. It is its own understanding, and I'm presenting an overview of Yoga Nidra. And I want to present to you the essence of Yoga Nidra to me. how and why Yoga Nidra has been important, and in the different ways it has given meaning to me, the way that I have understood the theory of Yoga Nidra and how I've been able to apply it to my practice of Yoga Nidra and the results that I've had. How I think that this can help you. For example, Yoga Nidra I see as being two-pronged. It's therapeutic and it's deeply spiritual. However, the therapeutic side, this is just the result of relaxation, learning how to deeply relax and expand your awareness. We relax first the gross level, then the subtle level, then the causal level. And by relaxing the body and then the breath and then the emotions and the mind, and finally quieting the mind and purifying the psyche, we can actually begin to have glimpses of that pure white light of universal consciousness. You can start to experience your own true nature. And maybe you experience it as light, or maybe you experience it as bliss and joy and ecstasy. This is what is not only most relaxing, true relaxation, but it's also healing and revitalizing, and it helps us to restore. It is restorative, that level of causal level of bliss we get during meditation. It is the most healing thing. The greatest form of medication is meditation. Welcome back, Nama Narayan. Nama Narayan, welcome back. Thank you for your patience. I had my Bluetooth speaker hooked up instead of my microphone. And so it was actually, what you were hearing was not even a microphone. It was trying to grab me through my Bluetooth speaker, believe it or not. Crazy, huh? But that's why it sounded so terrible. This is the sound quality that you can expect to have during the live Zoom broadcasted classes. Now, because I am in the process of moving, my landlord's asking for 3 months deposit plus 1 month rent, and it's a lot for me to come up with right now. I just almost barely have it. So I'm asking for your assistance to help me, and also I'm helping you by giving you this 3-month program for only $40. If you use the coupon code MOVEDAVATMA, just go ahead to tripurayoga.org. Right there on the homepage, you'll see the 12-week Yoga Nidra immersion. And if you just put in Move Devatma, you can get the 3-month course for $40. I defy you to find another 3-month meditation course online that meets weekly. So 12 meetings that you can get for this price. And it's not because I don't value myself, but because I want to make this really affordable for you. The full price is only $120, which is $10 per session. Even that, I don't think you're going to find anything of that rate online. I'm doing that because I want to make this available to you. And nobody should be not able to learn Yoga Nidra and Antarmona and how to meditate. It shouldn't be cost exclusive. You know, there are a lot of courses like this going for over $1,000, and most people just don't have $1,000.
Are you signed up to any of these classes?
Yeah, I've worked with this gentleman for quite a while. His name's Dave Atma. He's really cool. Sorry about the commercial part of it. But I just wanted to touch base with you and see how you are and bring this information to your attention, because Nidra has a lot to do with, you know, like why were there certain years in school where our curriculum for education was like geared a certain way, you know, and I think it goes along with a lot of what you've uncovered about some of the hidden in plain sight meaning.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that have a lot of meaning right in plain sight. And, you know, the application process is totally different everyone's got different goals, especially in the truth movement. And I like him, the beginning of this, he's saying that relaxation is the expansion of our consciousness. So if we're relaxed, some of the symptom of that is inclusivity. We're like in a more inclusive, greater perspective, and we're like more joyous. We're more joyful. We're able to deal with all the complications and dilemmas of our material life here in this thing that we find ourselves in.
I was just looking at the meaning of it.
Yeah.
Nidra, it means sleep also.
Mm.
Yeah, or yeah, sleep or deep sleep. Never heard that word before.
Yeah.
Nidra. Okay.
Yeah. And it's definitely like a comprehensive practice. There's many different layers to it, and depends on who you practice with. But I'm sure where you're from too, that there's probably a scene for it, because there seems to be a popularity to it. Nidra's a pretty popular thing. There's probably like a class that you could go and experience it, like in a studio. Have you ever gone to like a dance studio or like a workout class before?
Yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times gone to
Yeah.
studios and classes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing to it, right? Like when you go to it, there's like certain process that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with the martial arts is kind of like that too. Like I feel like going to learn how to kick and everything, like doing things in the right way, like the right steps,
Mm-hmm.
taking things in the right steps. Are you in London proper? Are you in the city of London?
Correct.
Man, that's so cool. You're like such a big city. You're like Bedlam, huh? You ever heard them? You ever people say that term to you, Bedlam?
No.
I thought that was an English term that means like really cool. Like it's just like so Bedlam.
No, I've
You
not
ever heard
heard.
people? No.
Not a term that we, particularly use over here.
Mm.
Especially
This might be a square square English American person who wants to be. I know you guys have like really cool standards. It's like you have to kind of have your life together to be in England, right? Like you
well,
have a high standard of living.
yes, now you do, but yeah, now you do. Before, you could near enough, just live on near enough next to anything. You can make the dream work. You could make it happen, right? You know how to stretch food, but now you can't even stretch the food anymore. Those days has left the building, right?
Yeah, it's different now.
You have to pick up extra work or at least be, earning a particular wage to even consider living in London. Everybody's moving out of London now, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Different.
Because of the cost, just for utilities or anything?
Going up. Everything's going up, but the wages stay the same, but everything else goes up.
Yeah. That's the truth. No. I'm all right. Well, are you going to you're going to be sharing some stuff?
Yeah.
You had some plans for
Yeah.
show. Cool.
Something
All
over
right.
here.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go.
Cool. I mean, you're more than welcome to chill up here, but if you wanna.
Oh yeah. Cool. Cool. That'll be cool. Yeah, I can stay around for a little bit.
Brilliant. Let's
Nice.
have a listen to this convo, see where it takes us. If there's
All right,
anything
cool.
you hear in this conversation, just say, "Hey, London, I want to speak on this," and I hit pause or whatever. All right.
All right. Sounds great.
Salute to the Grand Old chat room. Jeeps, Tommy, Lani in the building, Uncle Rick in the building. All right. Salutes to you. Crypto in the building. Much love to everybody watching. Much love.
In order to do the sound check, I'm just going to have you introduce yourself and tell people what kind of topics are of particular interest to you, and what got you talking or interested in specifically what we're going to talk about today, which are things like the Camp of the Saints, the land at the North Pole, the Flying City motif, which is really interesting, the Season of Satan, the Millennial Reign, and all of these things. What kind of brought?
That was a handful right there. Any of those things catch your attention?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying the land of the north.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if you've ever heard this guy Tahuti. Do you know who Tahuti Mose is? He's a Saba. He's like an African teacher.
No, never heard that name.
Let's see. I'll send you the link. He was just talking last night. About how jolly. You know how they call like Santa, like old Saint Nick is really jolly.
Yeah.
He's saying that that word jolly is actually the name of Odin before they like rebranded the Odin in Norse mythology and made it more like a Christmas, like a Yule time, Xmas, Christmas time.
Yeah.
It was more like Norwegian, and they used to call him Jolly. His name was Jolly, and it was like the two L's, right? Jolly.
Yeah. The two
So
L's. The two
yeah.
L's. Okay, keep going, keep going.
Well, so the guy, this Saba, he was teaching last night about how, what it's like a form of hypnosis when we disassociate from how things actually are and we accept the narrative of them. We're given this portrayal of we all celebrate Xmas, but Christmas is different than Xmas. And now they're kind of blended together into this one.
Christmas is different from Xmas, is it? Yeah. Okay. All right.
The etymology, the word MAS is actually not an English word. It's like a
It's
code.
German.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That
I knew it. Yeah.
Well, that a gathering. It's interesting, right? Like one word will have one extra letter, and it'll mean a completely different.
Mm.
It'll mean something completely different, and then
Yes.
they take a letter away, and it seems like it's something else.
Yes. You're
Like,
right. You're right there. Yes.
they're not. It's got a different connotation to
Yes, but you're right
it.
to
Yeah.
point out the mass part as well, because I forgot. Obviously, mass at night for the gathering within the Catholic Church. So the Xmas, the gathering of the people, X marks the spot is where they gather, right?
Mm.
Placed in the center, right? Ouch, that's
Yeah.
wild. But it's only spelt with one S, right? But we know what they mean, right? Okay, okay, that's yeah. I never looked at it like that. Yeah, interesting. That's interesting there. I like that. Hey, salutes to my man Artizzle. I was just looking at my phone right at the right time. Received a donation from the man Artizzle. Salutes family. Love you so much for that. I didn't even ask and I'm receiving. You see how the universe works for London? That's different right there. All right. He must see something he liked, or he heard something he liked, or he's just feeling pretty damn generous. All right. So salutes to you, Artizzle. Always. Much love. Let's keep going.
Brought you into that avenue of research?
So all throughout the Bible, there's a lot of topics that are foreign in today's church, specifically in America. And to me, it's interesting that the Bible has topics that aren't usually talked about. So that's what really got me interested in trying to figure out these foreign topics that aren't mentioned in church. Because typically, in the Western church, it's very circular. They talk about the same things every single Sunday, every Bible study. It's something about morality, philosophy, and just pure focus on the New Testament. And so I decided to look into these foreign topics that are barely brought up but are mentioned in the Bible. And that's what really got me interested.
Nice. Yeah, that's I mean, that's kind of where I started too. Genesis 6, the giants. I had so many questions. I went to so many churches, so many pastors, so many Bible studies and stuff, and it was so many different answers when it came to that. And I had a feeling personally that it was physical, actual, real, gigantic beings. So I looked into that, because some people that didn't know would just tell me, it's God's a mystery, who knows? And then other people were like, oh, that's just symbolic or whatever. But you've even talked about the giants a few times. I want to talk about the giants real quick, because I feel like that's an important part of going back into what I call our ancient oblivion, hidden history, things that mankind has just forgotten about or that's been hidden from us. But like they say, it's hidden in plain sight. What are some obvious?
I'm completely shocked after watching this.
Oh, are you, love? I'm completely shocked. You just popped up in my presentation. How about that?
That we have now today that imply that gigantic humanoids existed.
For me, it's all the comparative myths you find in all these mythologies. Like virtually every religious story has some kind of story about divine beings or half gods, half breeds, half angel, half man. And they're all pretty much talking about the same thing, just using different names. So to me, that's evidence, the fact that all these various religions across the world, through ancient times are discussing a similar topic, just with different names. But even the appearance is sometimes the same. The red-haired giants,
Yeah, I want to speak on that quick. I believe they're all speaking about a same event, right? But even the events are the same, right? Which they're speaking about, and even some of the characters also, right? This is something people seem to skip over sometimes. The characters remain the same, but they just give them a different name sometimes, right? Now, earlier on, you spoke about Odin, right? There's been a few things, like you said, names sometimes reveal different things. You remove a letter and it reveals a completely different thing, right? Now, Odin's been popping up of lately in the last month or so. I mean, he plays a big part in my reason why I'm actually, doing this over in the end anyway, with Odin Crater and Rodin Crater, right? But as God and all of that stuff, right? Through my research and what I can see, all of that stuff seems to be within the micro, and they're actually talking about the micro like it's actually macro, right? I think they're actually talking about, organisms, cells, and all of these things, things that is out of our sight, but it's really there. When they speak about magical lands are there, but you just got to zoom into it. Right? Zoom in. When they show us these ringed maps and these things, it's actually us they're showing us. They just zoomed out. When you zoom in, it's zooming out, zooming in, it's exposing what it really is under a microscope, right? But Odin seems to pop up a lot of lately, especially within the my research and Asgard stuff. It seems to be linked to something micro. All right, so that's
Well,
interesting.
that's one of the big parts about regaining the sight, right? One of the eyes is lost in the well of Ord. It's like being in sin. Being in sin is being in the moon.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. He's talking about the giants connection because there is definitely evidence that there were much larger forms like our form, but a stepped up version. So depending on the age, and you're saying the same characters, the characters don't change, the play continues. It's like there's a changeover event, there's a rearranging, there's a second creation story, right? There's the primary creation story, and then there's some type of like cycle that happens. There's a changeover event, and then there's the secondary creation story. And then we end up in the garden. There's kind of like everything's already kind of set up in place a certain way. And then the Lord comes in. I'm the Lord. You'll do this. You won't do that. But it's like he's like the secondary creator Lord. Like he's God, like Brahma or Yahweh would be. If you have 75%, they say that Shiva has 75% the same quality as Krishna, as the Godhead. So if you meet somebody who's 75% like God, that's pretty much like meeting God, especially if you're just an individual living entity.
Yeah.
If you were to meet someone who had, was in their full like godhood or whatever with because they say when you meet the Anuna, when you meet some of these ancient astronauts, they got all this fancy shit, right? Like chains and all these jewelries and all this high tech, all this gadgetry. Because you see the Tesla thing.
Yeah.
It's like Tesla just, now there's a lot of Teslas. But that totally reminds me of the depth perception thing. what you were saying about the size of things, and it's micro, and like all of a sudden there's all this really nice, fancy, high-tech stuff, but no one can really explain where any of it came from. It just showed up one day. There's this big company, they make these cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just seems sus, right? It's a very sus thing that's happening because of the. It's like we're trying to regain our sight, and we're having to face all of these, like we're being mocked, like a little bit of mockery that goes into it as we try to wake up.
Yeah, well, I feel like every day we're being mocked, right? Especially when we walk past the architecture of this realm, right? The construct itself, like the buildings, that the sizes, the megalithic structures, right? It makes you actually feel like you're inferior, like superior to anything else out there. You think, if we didn't make this, what could have made this? And then you look at the size comparison to, you know, a brick that we would use in this day and age compared to something what they would call a brick back in those days, but it's like a big boulder, or you know, it's just something crazy. The dimensions is just out of this world when you think about, you know, the structures that stand before us, right? And you think, how did it even get there? Because some of these things have to come from quarries, right? But the quarries are miles away from their building site. So it's like, what type of miracle was you using to bring it from there to there? How would you do? So what I'm trying to say is, it's alive, basically. Every time you wake up, you walk past something, right? Especially, quote unquote, the woke person, right? We must feel like
Right.
defeated every time we walk past something, and then we're thinking, fucking hell, there's a fake narrative behind that. You walk down the road, you're like, oh, there's a fake narrative behind that. There's a fake narrative behind that building. Like, it's everywhere, right? But to the average person, the narrative's been set for them. They don't question it, so they don't feel like they're ever being duped.
Yep, the need to feel safe that will create. They'll put their head in the sand.
That's it. It's fucking,
Yeah, because they want to have love and approval. They haven't reached that moment of truth, or the destiny. It's like providence. Have you heard of that? That there's a final destination called providence. Like life will. That's the serendipity, right? Like life will arrange everything, even if you do everything in your power to avoid someone that you might have like some. You might have to make amends with someone, right? And no matter what you do, you try to avoid trying to make amends with them. You're like, I don't want to fucking, deal with this and that because they're like this, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But life, the providence of life, it's like your destiny to have to meet that person and make the amends, no matter what you do to try to like not have to deal with it. You'll have to deal with it.
yeah. I mean, there's sometimes when I've even said, F that person, I don't need them, or I don't care about them, but
Yeah, especially if they hurt you or they're ignorant and they're like, oh yeah, we don't want to deal with that and we don't have to question any of it.
but the thing is, sometimes you still find yourself thinking about the situation, which then leads you to thinking about them, right?
Oh yes, even yeah, even when you're negatively resentful towards someone, you're bringing them to mind.
Exactly. All right, let's keep going.
All right.
Their size, their stature, their godlike appearance, and the fact that they ruled the earth as kings and stuff like that.
Yeah. How about like gigantic doors?
That as well, yeah. Gigantic thrones and doors, and even gigantic books that were found.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been trying to get a collection of images of those gigantic books. Like those seem to be a little harder to find on the internet, or I mean like real authentic ones, from yesteryear.
Yeah.
Gigantic books, huge weapons have been found.
Yeah, I mean,
the weapons. Yeah, there's a lot of
weapons, books. Like, why the need for books that need like 5 people to pick it up and open it? Like, I don't understand that part. right? Make a book that is larger than the average book, right? What is the purpose? Like, I don't understand. Why would they do that back in the old days? That part just always seems to confuse me. And then, you know, the weapons itself, like, I don't need a sword which is like 10 feet. What am I doing with an axe that is 3 times bigger than me? Like, how am I going to use that?
Yeah, that's the nature of the North, right? You're saying that these are like progenitors. They've come from they've come from somewhere else, and they brought like this size was relative to the rest of their age, right? They had these big books and big weapons and big buildings, but everything was bigger back then, or
Yeah,
during that time period, or you know that it still exists because we're in like a collage of all of the possibilities, right? Like the Higgs boson, it's like we're in this like we're in the kaleidoscope of possibility, and we're just living out this, you know, current.
it's wild.
Gigantic
Yeah.
swords, even clothing. Even in Islam, they have a like a huge, I don't know what to call it, like robe that of Adam, that they say Adam was like this tall and they made this robe, you know, saying like this is what he would have worn or something. But let's jump into the title of this video is basically strange seasons. So we're going to be talking about strange times, strange epics throughout history. Where I would like to start is where I believe personally it all started, which is you know, people on my channel have seen my North Pole theories and the land at the North Pole. I've seen that you actually have touched on the land at the North Pole a few times in your videos too. So let's go over to the North Pole land. What are your thoughts about this land that's depicted on many of these, especially medieval maps and maps from hundreds of years ago, that across the world seem to have depicted a country at the top of the world at the North Pole?
Yeah, so there are a lot of ancient maps, especially during medieval times and even earlier, that depicts the New Jerusalem that's talked about in the Bible in the middle of the earth, like the North Pole, the direct center. And even in the Bible, there's a few verses, like in Psalms, for example, that talks about.
This has to be the most powerful smartwatch.
Why the adverts there? The New Jerusalem also.
Yeah, it's because wandering. Yeah.
When I've been looking into it, Jerusalem also tied back to two things: the moon and the eye. Right, through my research, that's just going through from what I've come across. It seems to have a link between the moon and the eye itself. What's your thoughts on the holy city or Jerusalem?
Oh, man. Well, brings up, there's a very interesting, he goes, right, he starts talking about the North, and the legacy media is like the four major networks, right? And there was a writer from Texas, I think his name was Jim Mars. Have you ever heard of him? He was like a truther in the 90s, like during the Coast to Coast era. He wrote a book called The Rise of the Fourth Reich. And in that book, he was basically talking about how the whole World War II thing was a big psyop because it was the consolidation of the historical narrative from Napoleon to World War II, from the French Napoleonic Wars at the end of the 18th century or 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. It was like characterized by all of these battles that happened. And Jim Mars was writing this book, Rise of the Fourth Reich. He was saying that there was this agenda. You can see under the undercurrent of all of these things that had happened politically, that there was an agenda to consolidate the flow of information. They want to control all like the news. That was the whole big part of World War II, because he was giving evidence. He was showing how, like, for as much as the Third Reich was against Jews or whatever, like they were like, we want to put all these people in concentration camps and everything. He was showing how all of the Freemasonry lodges in all of Bavaria, Poland, where they were fighting, Germany was fighting in Poland, they all stayed open during the whole war. For the whole time that the war was happening, all of the Freemason temples where all of the like elders of all of these like synagogues and everything, they would go meet, they stayed open during the whole time. This writer, Jim Mars, was saying about it. So it, for me, not to like go on a tangent and ramble, for me, it just shows me like they don't want to talk about the North Pole, and they kind of want to portray the world being a certain way after World War II, that there was like this axis of evil and that all these people were victimized, and there's like this trauma-based victimization going on, where anytime we start talking about the other narrative of like, well, what's really happening in the Middle East and why are they still fighting? And I thought we were all part of these like I thought we were all part of this like Judeo-Christian world. They go, what, you want evil to happen? You want people to be persecuted? And, you know, they hide behind their like righteousness of, you know, the media's, it's just like keeping a secret about the North. I feel like they keep a secret about the North by going on some long thing about how we need to make sure that Jewish people have a home state and don't question any of the policies or procedures of Israel or anything, because you don't want to be seen as like somebody who's for evil. You don't want to be like an evil person. And like I grew up, you know, going to synagogue and going to Friday night temple, and you know, Jerusalem is like definitely like I feel like it's part of the psyop, because is it that an important of a place? There's a lot of beautiful places in this world. Jerusalem's beautiful, and there's like a beautiful temple there, and you can like wail at the wall. And
So how many times, I mean, have you been to, did you live in Jerusalem? Is that what you're saying? Or
no, I just know that there's like a big desire for like certain
okay.
communities to go there, right? Like
Mhm.
it's very sacred to like Jews and Muslims.
Yes. City of the
But it's also, yeah, but it's also like part of like a deeper, it's kind of like a red herring to me, because there's definitely a North Pole. The media's covering it up.
Mhm.
The moon, it's like they're using the moon. They're using the power of the cycle of the moon to their advantage. It seems like it's being used to kind of, right, to kind of like keep everyone entrained and eating their pizza.
Eating the pizza. All right, let's keep going.
Right.
I froze.
Yeah, I did.
No, oh, it's the audio. The
And that it's beautiful. And it even that Jesus Christ located, and it even that about Mount Zion, which is inside the city itself, and that it's beautiful for situation. And when you look up that word in biblical Hebrew, it's the word for elevation, meaning it's beautiful in its elevation.
see, elevation. So Mount Zion also means elevation, high mountain. Okay. I mean, we've been, you know, diving into the Zion stuff as well. You know, which is also connected to sin, and sin is connected back to the moon, and then AI is the name of the mountain itself. You know, so that was pretty cool when we broke that down, when we looked into that. Zion or Sion is actually sin, right? Mm. It all leads back to the moon, is what I'm trying to say. Everything leads back to the moon. From my understanding, everything leads back to the moon. Wow.
And it's the city of the great king. And it's located in the north. So,
Yeah, Mount Zion.
yeah.
So Mount Zion being within Jerusalem, or the city of peace.
Yes.
Man, I see a correlation to the old world maps of the North Pole area. So we've got the North Pole land. I'm gonna pull up a picture.
Because what we were talking about earlier as well. I mentioned it earlier about when they talk about an event, they're mentioning they may talk about it from a different point of view, but they're talking about the same event, whether it's the flood or the plasma or anything, right? But they're talking about the same thing. Same thing with the characters. The characters are the same, but the names change, but they're speaking about the same person, right? And I think that's the same thing with some of these mountains, right? Because it's all one God and it's all one mountain after all, you know. Before the gods, it was the God one, right? So I think it's one thing, but it has many names. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it repeats. It repeats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So the fractal, it's like a fractal nature to
Fractal.
it.
There you go, my man. Bingo. Bingo. Yes,
It's
sir.
got the hole within the part.
And then look where we even see it now. We even see that, well, it looks like it might even spill over into Hollywood to some degree, this fractal stuff, or
Oh yeah.
one character playing multiple people, right? That is also another strong theory going out there. I wasn't really on board with it. At first I was like, yeah, I see something with it, but then afterwards I was like, nah, people might be reaching with this. But then of lately, I've been seeing a few people do a few connections. I'm like, oh, that's pretty solid, actually. You know, when we look at these old images of people back in the 1600s or 1800s, and then
Yeah.
celebrities now, we're like, oh, hold on, what's going on? You know, things of that nature. So, you know, same character, but the name just changes.
Deposition.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And location and all of these things. Because you got to remember, it's like a studio, it's like a set, it's a stage after all, right? So the stage remains the same, just everything else changes after all, but the stage is always there. So they're talking about the stage, the platform. Mhm.
Of the classic Mercator Arctic map, or the map of the Arctic. But go ahead and tell me some more about what you've come across in your research, as far as, like, I've come across that there seems to be many different motifs that have quintessential roots, or roots that have been forgotten and maybe just projected upon, like, modern regions or lands, countries, even rivers and mountains and things like that. So I've come across a holy mountain motif. You know, for example, a high and lofty mountain, just as Rupus Nigra is being described as, a meeting place, a mountain where the gods met, or mighty beings of old, or leaders of, you know, various communities. It was a mountain of meeting. What have you come across as far as this holy mountain motif and its association with?
Yeah, the mountain. Sorry, Jay, to keep butchering your stuff here, mate. But you know, you're making some good points. Even the mountain stuff, that that pops up a lot, right? Even when I'm looking into this construct and this you know what this place is, the mountain, the rock seems to be coming up a lot as well, right? Even in these scriptures, like Jay's pointing out, the rock's there before anything. Even in the Egyptian scriptures as well, they speak about Atum raising, you know, earth from out of the waters, or raising the mountain from out of the water. You know, the hill. There's always seems to be a hill, a mountain, or a mound, right? And this is why I think we have the pyramids, a representation of what was first, or what could be the true shape, or you know, connection to the construct. The pyramids, mountain, the mound, the hill. It always seems to go back to one thing: holiness. When I see these things, I'm not saying holiness is good or what we perceive as holiness, but what they're showing us, you know, the mountain.
Yeah, the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
With Jerusalem, or the Holy City, or even the North Pole?
Yeah, so what I've noticed is throughout the Bible, it talks about Mount Zion and that it's a floating mountain. And throughout all these mythologies, it talks about something similar, right? Like you have Mount Olympus, another heavenly mountain, or
Yeah.
throughout various religions, they discuss that the abode of the gods is on this mountain that floats in the heavens. And
Yeah, see, whether it's Mount Olympus, Mount Zion, Mount Sinai, like, you know, it's this mountain, Mount Maruz, you know, they've
Kailash,
Mount
Kailash,
Kailash.
Kashi. Yeah, there's a lot of Indian names for it too.
Yeah.
Thiruvannamalai. There's a bunch of mythology in near Sri Lanka
Mm-hmm.
and Indonesia. Not even like the Indonesia has like a bunch of different traditions there because they have like a shamanistic thing going on too. You know, the shamans. The shaman world is so different now because of the modern world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've standardized education. The placement testing, how they place everyone according to their like aptitude. It's kind of squares. Everyone makes everybody kind of square, so they don't question the narrative of where we're living because they're worried about like, you know, making sure they get like approval. They get in with the test and they get like their position that they want. The survival thing, it's like we get subverted for our survival.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Hey, salutes to the chat room. Much love. Vardaf, I see you down there. Salutes. No, much love to you. Uncle Rick, salutes. Mr. Rasta in the building. Top Cat in the building. Salutes to you, brothers. I see you folks. Much love.
from reading the Bible, I realized that the devil likes to invert things. And so he has his own holy mountain that floats high up in the heaven, according to scripture.
Oh.
And so those are some of the things that I found concerning the...
What? The devil has his own holy mountain? Yo, hold on. Take that back. Take that back. I've never heard that. Take that back.
The devil likes to invert things. And so he has his own holy mountain that floats high up in the heaven.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
That's like his thing about the skyscrapers, right? And he's always building all these skyscrapers down here because he knows he's in a reflection. It's like he wants to be like the Lord over everything.
But for quote unquote Satan or whoever it is to have a floating city, I've never heard someone say that before. I mean, I don't know whether that's in the Bible. I mean, it goes back to what they were saying earlier from the beginning. There's things in the Bible people do not speak about. Right? They probably know about these things, but they just don't want to speak about it, right? I'm here for it all, right? I'm here for it all, whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. I just want to hear it out. I mean, when I was young and people used to read the Bible to me, in one ear, out the other. I'm not really paying attention. Right? I probably heard these things hundreds of times, but I just wasn't interested when I was a kid, a child. Right? They're trying to
it's the cipher.
They're trying to force it into us, and I'm like, I don't want to know this shit. I want to go outside and play on that tree, just like the other kid right there.
That's the power of MTV.
But now I'm willing to hear it out. Right now, I'm willing to be like, okay, what are they saying now? Because I can understand things more clearer now, right? So,
yeah, well, your motivation, your meaning you're giving is grown. You know, you've cultivated more of the inquire. You know, you've inquired like, well, why is it really like this?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing.
That's it, exactly. Mm-hmm.
According to scripture. And so those are some of the things that I found concerning the similar motifs of a central earthly mountain that floats high above the heavens.
All right. Well, here's a picture of the classic Mercator map. This is just the map of the Arctic. Is this the land that we're both on the same page? This is the area, the general, picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So what are some things that pop out to you that might associate this with the ancient lands that are mentioned in the Bible, or a city of peace, or maybe even the Garden of Eden?
So the book of Genesis describes, the Garden of Eden in the very beginning, and says that in the direct center, there's a tree of life and 4 rivers intersecting and watering the middle, which is what you can see here on this map. 4 rivers intersecting, and in the middle, it doesn't look like a tree, but more so a stump, which you've talked about in previous videos,
for one moment.
that it looks like a severed stump.
So are you saying, have you been saying that you can see this part of the map on the moon? We're looking at the moon. The moon is just a part of our.
I'm not saying that. I haven't located this, but there is a few things I wanted to actually speak on. Actually, plain and simple. I mean, this map looks like an eye, point blank serious, right? But I'll get the obvious out of the way. That looks like an eye, first of all, right? But apparently, Makeda and these people never even left their premises to actually draw these maps up, right? These people actually, I mean, look, from my understanding and my research, what I've come across, the cartographers, they actually said they used the moon to draw the earth, right? They used the moon as a reflection to draw the earth. I've made a point of this. I put it in my upload, one of my videos before, right? So Mr. Makeda said, you know, he's never left his domain. How do you not leave your premises, but you seem to make all these maps? What are you using? You're using the same method the people used before you, the moon, right?
So what's the dark side of the moon? This information, that the dark side of the moon is that it's like a loop. It connects back into the moon gives us the tide because it goes through its phases. So it's not as physical.
I think the dark side of the moon could possibly just be, you know, the waters again, the other half that's submerged into water. Because when they show us the construct, right, you know, there's 2 hemispheres. One seems to be above, one seems to be below. Now, below us is water by, you know, the maps and these pictures that are left. You know, if we're going by the how do you call it, the cosmologies of the Jews, or you know, whoever you can just take a shot in the dark and you'll come across, they're showing you the same thing, right? But they're showing you waters underneath the construct, right? The deep waters, or and then above is the, you know, the open air. But I think the dark side of the moon could be, you know, the water. That could be the other side of it. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm kind of getting from it. The other side, the other hemisphere, which is below, or if we're above, is it inverted? So it could be the other side, you know, the water's above. But I'm guessing it's waters. Something, the darkness would have to be water. Just like what we see now, right? You go deep enough, it's dark in the waters, right? The only place you get to really find darkness is in the water. You know, I suppose when you go up as well, it gets dark when you go above the sun, but then that seems like you're heading into more waters, right? The darkness seems to be in the waters, which is, you know, probably one half of the moon is hiding. Just like that, the lens in the eye is what I'm trying to say, right? The half of it is submerged in the waters, and half of it is out.
Stump. And what's really interesting, I forgot where in the Bible exactly, but there is a vision. I don't know if it's Daniel's vision or whose vision, but I forgot it exactly where it said, but it talks about an angel in the vision coming down and cutting down this big old tree, this tree of life.
Yeah.
It reaches up to the heavens. But let me look it up real quick to see what Bible verse.
Yeah, for sure. I
Daniel.
also know in the book of Enoch, it says that the angels were commissioned to labor at the trees, which is also very interesting too. These high and lofty, gigantic trees. I've got theories that might be physical, as far as gigantism existing in the old world,
Mhm.
from animals to plants and people and stuff. But also sometimes that there was energies associated with these archetypal mountains that
Yeah.
had a glow to them, or lightnings, or thunder, extreme thunders and lightnings and stuff.
Yeah, so it is Daniel's vision. And like, for example, in chapter 4, verse 13, it says, I saw in the vision of mine head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said, thus hew down the tree of life, and cut off his branches, shake off his leaves, and scatter his fruit. Let the beast get away from under it, and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field. So in this vision, it says that a watcher, an angel, came down and cut down this tree of life, but left its stump, which is basically.
See, this goes back to what I was saying. Can you hear what they're saying here, right?
Yes.
Let me hold on. Let me, because this sounds like, you see, when I hear these type of dialogues they're having, right, or things that's been said, it sounds like they're speaking from an eye doctor's point of view, right, an ophthalmologist, right? But they're speaking in code. 1 second. See what I can...
Book of Daniel, that was really powerful. There was definitely some different layers there, because different ears at different spheres. So depending on what altitude you're listening to it from, you might hear it, at least as far as like the biblical scripture goes.
Where is it? All right, cool. All right, give me a sec. Let me. But this is quite interesting. This is very interesting. Excuse me, folks. Let me go and get something. I gotta go into my studio. How do I go into my studio from here? All right, cool. I'll do it this way. Give me a second. Okay. It is this one. All right, go ahead. Let's go back here. All right, cool. We're here. What? Oh, can you see the screen already? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, you can see, yeah, but they can't. All right, cool. That's wild. All right, cool. Back over here. All right. Now, like I said, whenever I hear the stories that they're talking about, it seems like they're talking about the eye, right? Now, let me do this so you can understand what I'm saying. Look, we're gonna.
What it the grass of the field. So in this vision, it says that a wand of iron.
Now, listen to the vision, what he says, right? And I'm gonna let the video play, all right?
And brass in the tender grass of the field. So in this vision, it says that a watcher, an angel, came down and cut down this tree of life, but left its stump, which is basically what it looks like in the map.
Yeah, it does, right? You know what else kind of pops out to me?
See what I'm saying?
The 4 rivers. I mean, that's
right. Come down, cut the tree, and left it stump. Right. Whenever I hear these stories, it takes me back to things like this. It left the stump. Right. This the optic nerve getting cut, right? The tree of life would be the optic nerve, which holds possibly the eye, right? So just imagine the optic nerve holding up the eye, which is the life within the tree, right? Now you cut down the optic nerve here, it's just gonna have a stump. Right? I think of things like that, like surgery, when I hear these type of stories. It's wild. I don't know why, but that's the only thing that comes to mind. Surgery.
Would explain the remnants of a previous development. It's like something grew through, and it goes on to another form.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Huge one.
Yeah.
Over in the Middle East, we don't have. I mean, we've got a Tigris and a Euphrates, but is that the Tigris and the Euphrates? And do they share a common source? You know, there's been a lot of people. It seems like they try to force it onto that because that's the Tigris and the Euphrates. You know, and it's in the Middle Eastern area.
Yeah, it just
But
doesn't
here,
match biblically.
we've got the four rivers.
Yeah, it just doesn't match biblically at all. I mean, all the rivers, the locations, the descriptions of it. I believe in one of the descriptions it talks about a river encircling the land. I don't know if it's modern maps, you find no river like that.
Yeah. You know what else is interesting too, to me, just biblically speaking, is this top river. So this top one right here is split into 7 different heads.
Mhm.
And that's mentioned in the Bible.
Oh, nice. There's no volume on that. Brilliant.
About the Great River or the Euphrates a couple of different times. Once for sure in the Old Testament, so that it could pave the way and people could walk across in sandals. And then another time, I believe in Revelation as well.
Mhm.
So this for me is a huge candidate for the actual original Euphrates River. And if that's the case, somebody could make the case, or I do, for this being an exit point. Let's just suppose this was Eden or this.
Hold on, I want to. Yeah, like I said, this map apparently he didn't have to leave his premises to draw this map. Wild.
I think
This
I've heard
whole
you say that before. That you had heard that he was able to receive all of the information, that he assembled the map, he drew it without ever leaving his home. He was kind of a bit of a shut-in.
Yeah.
Mm,
You know, when I think of things like that, 2 things come to mind, right? It's either people was using lenses that was much more powerful, or the moon was much closer. The image was much closer, where you could actually see these things for what it really is, you know. That's just a thought. Much closer.
island or country was called Eden or something and has its own quadrants and sections and stuff.
Mhm.
If this is the Euphrates, this might be an exit point or an entryway, so that people can actually walk through this particular side. The waters being low enough and the current not being so swift. This would be the Tigris over here on the other side, and then we have the Pishon and Gihon on the other sides as well. So the camp of the saints. Now, this is how we're going to begin this presentation, and it's also how we're going to end it, because the beginning and the end are always linked together,
Yep.
I've found. So we're talking about this ancient land at the North Pole that seems to coincide with, places like Eden, also known as Hyperborea,
Mhm.
and different regions and stuff. Goes by many names, but it's a phantom land. It's a hidden land. It's a mystical land. It's a magical land, according to many myths. And using comparative mythology, we see a lot of these similar trends, even within
Mhm.
religion. There's miracles attributed to this particular location. That's another thing too. Is like modern Israel is not a city of peace. It's like modern. It's not. There's no peace in Jerusalem right
Mhm.
now, so you don't really fit that description. But the camp of the saints, right? Um, Specifically, I'm thinking about the book of Revelation at the end when it talks about the camp of the saints and What do you remember from that Bible verse where it talks about something happening when people go towards the North Pole from around the world?
So it basically says that the camp of the saints, the New Jerusalem, finally appears over the earth, basically hovering, and Satan gets all the nations and deceives them into fighting this floating thing in the sky, the camp of the saints. And what's really interesting, there's an apocryphal book called Second Esdras, which used to be in the King James, and it actually describes this specific event in great detail. And it says that what begins to happen is that a floating mountain appears in the sky, and Jesus is on that floating mountain. And at the very end, Jesus destroys all the nations that come against him with a great fire from the sky.
See, that
Yeah. Wow.
that's wild, right? It's wild, but when I hear about it, well, so when I think about it, it makes me think of is it Blue Beam? Two things, Blue Beam, right? That Blue Beam event when people say they can make things appear in the sky and all of that stuff, right? Like a modern day
Yeah.
Blue Beam event. But also it makes me think of when they brought into the destruction part, it makes me think of death from above, the stuff I've been speaking about with the lenses and the lasers and these things. Uh, they well, about a year or two ago, I come across some stuff where they was talking about some type of metafluid lenses where they have lenses that can float in the sky, right? And when it comes into contact with heat or some form of heat, it can buckle and become like a solid lens in the sky, apparently, like a floating lens in the sky. Right? This is a new development they was trying to come up with. Or I think they've actually come up with it, right? But I'm not sure whether they've released the know-hows. But apparently it had some properties where I think it can connect with AI from 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 up in the sky to connect with AI down here on the ground, like mechanical stuff basically. So
Wow.
we're dealing with a lens which can, you know, come into contact. I suppose it can, you know, do what lenses do, direct sunlight if need be, because it's an intelligent thing. If it can control sentient things on AI and all of it, you know what I'm saying? It can do its thing, I suppose. But I haven't heard anything else from that article. Seen anything else? I think it was
Wow.
something that was coming up within Harvard. Actually, I'm gonna have to look for that again.
Okay, so Alpha Talks is saying there's an apocryphal book that was in King James at one time that describes these um, changeover event. I would consider that changeover event where there's like a mountain floating heavenly um it's like the intercession, like the throne, the judgment seat. Is that what they say? Like, oh, God will come back and he'll judge everyone from the throne or whatever.
Yeah, you'll be
It
just.
sounds like a throne.
Yeah, it does sound like it does. Well, I mean, the throne. Well, you got to remember because
Would he do something that drastic?
does he place his feet on the throne or does he sit on the throne? Where did he place his feet again?
Right. Yeah. It would have to be something like so over the top that would trump all of the other lesser magic. Because the magic has gotten extensive. We don't really know what's real anymore. You know, so it kind of takes like the higher power to come interrupt. Not that it does everything for us and saves us, like, oh, now you're forgiven. You can just go back to doing whatever. But that it interrupts the magic so that we can see it like, oh, we were kind of in a hypnosis and now we can wake up from it and see, oh, you know, this is the right path to go on. We can, you know, engage ourselves. Because right now the path is like convoluted. It's all contaminated.
Hey, Vardov, I just saw your message. Hit that link, my guy. Sorry, I was talking my face off. I didn't even see you reply back to that link. But yeah, that link's there for you when you're ready, my man. Where was we? Let's get back over here.
But actually, I'm gonna pull up Second Ezra specifically that part. So let's see. Second Ezra's floating mountains.
That's actually super interesting. That's going to lead us into the next topic, which is the whole floating cities and stuff. The Bible does mention mountains in the sky a few times. I mean, most people probably remember in the book of Revelation, there's the mountain that causes the waters to become bitter that falls down from the heavens, or wormwood.
So yeah, I just found it. This is Second Ezra chapter 13, verse.
Oh, I could be blessed today. Wonder if that's my guy, brother. Let's have a look. Where are we? Yes. Brilliant. Welcome, Vardaf. How are we doing?
Hang on, just got to close.
Hold on, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
How
I
are you?
reckon.
How are you, first of all? How are you
I'm
doing?
good.
How are you? How are you, man? How are you? Hugs, 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 hugs. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm drained, but I'm in good spirit. I'm in good spirit, but I'm drained. Too much work, too much hours, but I'm here.
Yeah, I think I've worked it all out. Paul Knight of Black Sheep Researcher is very close to the mark of this being a cave. What I think happens, I think this is a world pod, like a living thing, but it's made of rock and stone and dirt and stuff as well. I think it's one of many. I think that we travel amongst them, and that gives us the Mandela effect and deja vu. So yeah, I think they're all pretty much the same design, which points to a living organism. Like, we follow a design. Each one has four lands at the top of the world. At the top, hanging from that cross river, is the divine thing, the rod mountain with the egg on top, the eye on top, if you want. And I potentially think that when that appears, that blue beam that it shoots out shoots down here and makes a copy. So you've got copy lands. You've got lands of Jesus, where things become fertile and healthy and so forth. Yeah, so that's what I think happens. And the nobility lied about where the lands were to the other nobility because they wanted them to think they were still able to get home. The people that remembered being from those four lands. When the flood happened, what happens with the flood, I think, is that that the Ice Queen, that world egg, freezes. I think it gets cold. And when it does, it condenses all the water of the vapor canopy, and all of that pressure just goes away. The world floods. The world fills up basically above us, and we're left with a sky that is changed and memories of a time before, which we mythologize and so forth, and then pass on down to our kids. That's the basics.
The basics. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the basics.
I can get much more into detail of any of that.
Please, you got time. I got time. I got smoke here. It's 4:20. Yeah, please.
Well, there's a...
Hold on, let me say this first of all.
Tangent up.
Hold on, Vardaf, because listen, first of all, thank you for, always interacting in the comment sections on my videos and my live chats and all of these things, right? You do spark some good interest, right? And I've noticed you do come by, you watch my stuff and you leave comments, so it shows me you're paying attention and you're watching, and you like, you know, like you said, Paul and these other content creators that I do collaborations with. So thank you very much for that. Right, now go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going on a tangent about this egg thing, the ball on the rod. Well, first off, I think it's the sky. I think it projects the moon and the stars, and the planets potentially. But it changes, and I think we pierced it with a big spike rod thing, popped it, and it changed shape, and then froze somehow. I don't know exactly. I'm just theorizing here. It's all just thoughts. But yeah, the main point I want to make is that I think those lands are up there, beyond the sky, beyond space, beyond the stars, at the top of the enclosure. That is where we should be looking if we want to get there.
Do you think that place is governed, is guarded?
I would say so. I would say very likely. They've been watching us the whole time. Very likely.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, a part of me, right, still thinks that the small hat, sorry, not the small hat, the small mustache man, or if not him, someone within that camp is still pulling strings. With all these.
Well, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think there's a good government up above, and down here we've got the bad guys. But I've got to go. Someone's coming home. Nice chatting with you, and I'll chat again. Thank you.
Please, thank you. Brilliant. Okay, nice.
All right.
Much love.
I'll see you later.
Take
Bye.
care,
Much
man.
love.
Peace.
Bye.
Quick and short. Quick and
That seems
short.
nice.
I'm pretty sure he got much more to say, but like he said, he's got company. Someone's came over, so you know. Oh, yeah, Frank.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
How about that?
The egg. He listen. He's always interacting. He's always interacting. I love it. Salutes to you, brother. Much love.
5, and you can actually find it on the King James site because it used to be in the King James Bible. So 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So Jesus graved himself a mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together.
I want to speak on something real quick, right? I've noticed as well, the mouth comes into play a few times. It was only until, well, I've noticed the mouth, but I haven't noticed it until, well, let me say Ants. My man Ants brought a different perspective on the mouth, right? But I've noticed with the mouth as well, you know, they seem to give the same shape, which is the lenticular shape, right? Especially with the Egypt hieroglyphs as well, right? Mouth and the shape of the lens seem to be, you know, and the eye at that, like this shape. Where are we? Hold on. That shape, right?
Here, share it studio side. I can't see it.
Hold on a second.
You're sharing page.
So that shape here, right?
Mm.
This same shape, but when he mentioned, so when I heard the mouth as well, right now, I've been seeing pictures and these things of Jesus or someone that seems to be Jesus shooting beams from his mouth, right? Shooting beams from his mouth. Now, I'm thinking, what the fuck? How do you shoot beam for? Why would they have someone shooting beam for their mouth? I can understand their eyes, you know, like Superman, he shows you the beams coming out of his eyes and shit, but the mouth. But then I thought, hang on, but the same symbol for mouth, which is the lens ticular, and they got lasers coming out of his mouth, right? I'm still going with the symbol, which is for mouth. This is the symbol as well. The lens ticular symbol is for mouth. All right, this symbol right here, the oval shape, the egg shape. But Jesus seems to be shooting lasers, so I thought I'll bring that to, you know, the table. It's still the same shape. Whenever I see the lasers, I still think of the lens shape because lasers and lens go hand in hand, right? Can't have one without the other. But what's the one?
Yeah.
And the great and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived.
Almond shape, yeah, that too. The almond, that's tied back into the I heard the thing go, hold on, what was that? Nah, we ain't doing that, so
But only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. And then after this verse, it describes how Jesus finally lands right on this mountain, and he comes down from the mountain and greets a peaceable multitude, his followers that don't fight against him, that don't join the nations.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so this is describing exactly what's happening in Revelation, just in a little bit more detail. Jesus is on a yeah, go ahead.
In layman's terms, because you know, not everyone can follow the biblical wording or whatever. What does that mean to you? What did you just read?
This is Second Esdras, and it's a detailed account of Revelation. And the way I picture it, it almost sounds like some type of UFO mothership. You know, when kind of trying to look at this through pop culture and what we know about floating massive things in the sky, right? UFOs. It sounds like a UFO comes down to Earth. All the nations gather together to fight it. You know, like the movie Independence Day.
Yeah.
And this floating heavenly city destroys the enemy, the nations.
I'm pulling some pictures up right now. 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me see if this works. This did not work. All right.
Dad, I really want to make.
That's called Operation Mockingbird. Mockingbird is when they use predictive programming to layer the disclosure process, and then later on, like when they would. So remember when we were in school, they would teach us the scientific calculator. Did you remember ever having to use a special type of calculator at school?
not that I can remember.
Yeah, like all the
one for one, really.
all the instruments on there.
I don't.
Yeah, that was a big.
Interesting. We started with the North Pole.
So, go on. Would you still talking? Go ahead.
Yeah, just the predictive programming of like disclosing to everyone, oh, there's like these advanced looking vehicles like in the Independence Day movie, and they get everyone to kind of subliminally, subconsciously accept that there's like these UFOs, and then when it happens later on in our social thing, we all just accept it. We go like, oh yeah, there's always been those other species.
Yeah. That's how it works, exactly. Predictive programming, yeah.
We went to the camp of the saints. Clearly, there's going to be a leader there, which biblically speaking, that would be Jesus. And there's a gathering together. Initially, a gathering together of evil people, basically the enemies of God, or the enemies of the camp of the saints that live there, or are are to live there at the very
Mhm.
least. And then the
Hold
camp
on.
of the saints that
You say the enemies of the God is the camp of the saints. Wowzers. That is crazy. Just to hear that, right? That sounded crazy. I like it, but it fucking sounds crazy.
people, basically, the initially a gathering together of evil people, basically, the enemies of God, or the enemies of the camp of the saints that live there, or
Yeah.
are to live there at the very
That you know what? That just sounds wild. Camp of the
Yeah,
saints
there would be
is where
there would be
you
enemies.
don't got it. Yeah. Some double entendre shit. Wow.
Yeah, it's no joke.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I like that shit. I love different shit though. I love my different stuff. That's wild. Mm. I'll give you
Purifying,
the- On the other hand, I can understand it because what God would sit there and let people suffer, right?
Mm, yeah.
So I understand why there might
Yeah.
be a camp plotting on the man.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of that's like the practice of indignation. Like when you feel indignant, when you have indignation towards holding on to the emotions and like interpreting what's going on, like you face challenges, right? Like God's enemies don't like him because he challenges them all the time. But it's like kind of their job to get over feeling resentful towards him. Like God's free to do whatever he wants. He created us, you know? Like what does that say about us if we're still resentful at our own, if our own inner self is the part of us that's God has given to us from him. He's like, okay, I'm going to give you a part of my own self. It's your inner self. And then we're resentful towards him because he, didn't give us what we wanted. We had some expectations when our needs to be met. And he's like, well, I'm busy. I can't always be there for you. Hold your hand through everything, right? And we hold resentment towards him.
Yeah, but
And that's kind of part of the job, right? Like God's so loving that he gives us all the time we need to get over feeling mad at him about being jealous towards him or being jealous of him and his abilities.
I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but even when I think of what you said, right, it gives us a part of himself and it says, hey, I'm busy, I'll get back to you later type of thing. But
Yes, you make you upset when
yeah, so what I'm getting from that is like more fractal talk, right? He didn't
Yeah.
give us a part of him because we are a part of the bigger piece, fractal talk about, right? Again. And this is where I think they could be hiding God within the fractalness of it. When if you remove, the God, it's just like macro, right? You deal with more macro, then it's like, okay, it's more of a loop. It's it's self, but then it's like who created self? Don't know. Apparently we always was. Leave it as that. When you start throwing into the man upstairs, which just lets you sit there and suffer, then you'd be like, oh, what the fuck? How you
Yeah, it gets complicated.
Yeah, it gets complicated. But when you just leave it as you always was and it's fractal, that makes more sense. Like you
Yeah.
are the God, because it's the biggest thing, macro, in it, like going back down. So it's like you always was type of thing. Put God out of it, but it's you or the creation. It's hard to explain, but when you put God
No,
there,
it's clear.
it murky things in my opinion. But fractal, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's nice guidance.
Good stuff. I heard the back door. 1 second. It better not be trouble. Oh, that's not trouble. Is that the real deal? What's happening, Bex? Nah, that's not Bex. That's probably Bex's stalker.
No.
That's Bex's stalker. Nah, we ain't doing that. That's Bex's stalker. He took too long to reply. Bex would have said something like, hola, amigos, hola, London. But yeah, that's Bex's stalker. They was thinking of a way, had to conjure up with Bex's voice. Yeah, stalker. Get lost.
at least.
That was heavy. I was
And then we
so
have
hungry, it's
something that's flying in the air above that area, something that's hovering above the city. This is so interesting to me. It also kind of reminds me, just, you know, because I correlate so many different stories. Have you come across any of the legends or the myths of King Og, and how King Og had his he was going to destroy the camp of Israel, and he had this huge mountain that he actually held up. He held aloft he broke off a piece of mountain, held it high up in the sky, and he was directly above the camp of Israel, poised to drop a mountain onto them to obliterate all of God's people. Have you ever heard that one?
I've never heard that legend, but I know who King Og is, the last giant king, right? Is that how he's described in the Bible?
Yeah. So this is this would be like going into like you know, some.
Is that the one where I think I have heard something like that? But do they get the mountain dropped on their head or something? The land's like, I think that sounds
I've never
familiar.
heard of King Og.
Yeah, someone gets a mountain dropped on their head. I'm not sure if it's Og, but it might be Og. It sounds familiar. Hey, week's in the building, you know. You already know, lay low, lay low. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big up to you. I ain't seen you in a while, player. I hope you're good.
Some of the more esoteric forms of Judaism and Islam and stuff, like, and you can find pictures of it too on the internet of him. And then what happens is God intervened, and he dropped this thing, and there's a hole cut out into it, so the mountain wrapped around his head and stayed there as he just stood above.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, see, that's the same thing. That's crazy. So he said God intervened, right? God intervened. So before he got a chance to throw the mountain, he intervened, made a hole in the mountain, and the mountain dropped on his head. Oh, that's crazy. That's better than Warner Brothers. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Some Looney Tune shit. You can't make that up. Something like Daffy Duck would get done to him. Yeah, see, once again, there's always a mountain involved, right? A mountain.
And the lens and the hole, right? The
Yeah, exactly. When I was thinking of that, right, it's making me think of the stages of the lens, right? Like I said, it goes through a stage, and I think that's what, you know, the realm could be going through stages, just like a lens. And at one point, there would be a hole in the lens as it goes through its stage. Right? Do you know what's wild? My brother used to have a hole in his heart when he was a child, and the doctor said it mends itself over time.
Yeah, there's that phenomenon. I've heard that too. That it's like the cord.
Wow.
Yeah, the body's very interesting. You know, the shamans in Peru. There's a tradition of like medicine shamanism in Peru, and they have like a very different understanding of the physical body. And they say the body's like way more like spongy and like soft. We're way more soft. We're kind of like a current, like a sound current. And then we take on the physical hardens. So there's certain times of the day that are like better, where the field, you know, the invisible field connects with the visible field.
Of realms connecting.
Yeah, just as far as the cycle of connecting to the it's called the scalar. The scalar is the non-local, so it's not inside time and space. Time and space appear out of it. It's existing, right? And then so it exists, but we're not always able to connect with it, according to the shamans.
You know what? That sounds a bit.
They're able to like connect with a certain time.
That sounds a bit like the how is it again? I think it's something along the lines of the tenth spell.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, that's Steiner's. That's all Steiner work, right?
yeah, that's something I wanted. That's something I wanted to look into at some point. But yeah, that sounds interesting.
Well, your tape that you just had, that pyramid, you had that Asian fellow giving sermon. He's like he preaches the gospel. Do you remember doing a breakdown of that?
On my show?
Tape about-
Yeah,
about the pyramid.
yeah, I do. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, he was talking about that, right? That there's like these spheres of influence, that the whole thing is considered God. God's in the higher heaven. They're not allowed there. They're in a fight. They don't want to like admit that they've been wrong, and that they are motivated by their like lust and their lower desires, and they don't want to like go in the right direction. They have like, they're divorced. It's like a divorce. And we kind of get held as the hostage in between the divorce or whatever. Because God's children are innocent, but they're resentful towards God, and they're resentful of the relationship of God's like forgiveness to his children, because they forgot their own relationship with him. Kind of like an amnesia, like they've gotten amnesia. They've been doing this for so long, and they've gotten so good at it, and they have so much control and power. It's like they hold people hostage. They want to like convince people that it's like really fun here, and that this is the way it should be.
But it's so wild because whenever I think of God or hear God, I just think of man in a pair of Levi jeans or something.
Yeah, somebody, it's like out at the ranch or what, driving his truck around. Just a regular old guy likes to take care of cows.
Guy with little man syndrome. He hates to be questioned. Bit of a narcissist complex, Yeah, it's my way or the highway. My way or the highway.
Yeah, my way or the highway. Yeah.
Right. Even though, right, we're down here living this reality and we're trying to make things better for ourselves. He's like, no, my way or the highway. Don't do it that way. Do it my way. Right? No. I'm not happy with you how you're doing it. I'm gonna send in the flood. I said my way or the highway. Get out of it. I heard the back door go. Let's see if it's a stalker again. No. Maria, who's Maria? You got 2 seconds. Who's Maria?
Hi, I told you my name here before.
Boom. Yeah. It's way past your bedtime, El. What are you doing? It's 11:13 UK time, GMT. It's okay. It's weekend. I just remembered. Sorry, my bad. It doesn't mean you can hit this link. Right? Okay. Much love. Stephen will probably be going live soon. You can always hit Stephen's link, But let me not be bad. Let me see what you got to say real quick. You got anything on the moon? You got anything on the eyes? You got anything on the moon? Look, the floor's yours. Look, real quick.
Well, one topic I have on the moon is the moon goddess of Japan, Princess Kaguya.
I'll go ahead. I'm listening. You got my attention.
I don't know if she has something to do with the moon or the crater. What do you think?
I don't know. Okay, is that the same? Is that the same princess that's always depicted with the serpent tail?
No, she's the moon goddess of Japan that the Japanese people worship.
Yeah, I know, but it would make sense why I've seen her with the serpent's tail also, because the mother is also connected to the great
She was found in a bamboo stalk by an old man.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say to you is it must be the same person that I'm thinking of, because the mother goddess is also connected. The moon goddess is also connected to the great serpent. She comes in many
Yeah,
forms.
it probably is, man. I mean, there's a movie about it.
What's the name of the movie?
The Tale of the Princess Kaguya.
Yeah. All right, yeah, that movie. I haven't seen it, but I think I've seen it. Even just the Hold on, let me get this up a second. How do I get this up? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Was it,
You looking it up?
yeah, this image.
I can't see it, dude.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah. The hand and the princess, right? The whole world in his hand. Okay.
Yeah, that's the topic. Yeah, that's the symbolism. There's also like a symbol on the moon to do with her as a toddler. Like there's a symbol of her on the moon as a like there's this picture of her as a toddler on the moon.
Okay, and where's the picture? You got that? What's that to do with?
Well, basically, there's a scene where she goes back to the moon and she looks down at Earth, and then when she goes inside the moon, you can see the picture of her as a toddler on top of the moon.
Okay, do you know what? See, that's good information because there was a movie that I saw, right? I've seen a few years back, and it was of Genghis Khan, right? I think it's Genghis conquers the moon or something like this, right? But he's wandering around in the desert, and he comes across some sacred.
She's very beautiful, isn't she?
Oh, yes, but hold on, I'm explaining something.
Have you seen this movie, dude?
Yeah, I can see you're about to be on some shit. I can see you're about to be on some shit. So in this movie, right, Genghis Khan, he goes to a place, but there's like an old hermit man in this place, but there's a. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. He goes to this place, and there's a telescope in this place, right? Now, when he looks at the telescope, he looks at the moon, but he drinks a potion, and the potion is like a mind wipe. I don't know. It just does something to his head, but he starts hallucinating. And then he finds himself on the moon, right? He finds himself on the moon, and then after a while, he becomes conscious again, and then he finds himself back on Earth, but it's almost like he's dead on Earth, and he's watching himself being carried away, but he's on the moon watching it happen. Mental. He even comes across like an astronaut or something on the moon, and I think he has a fight with an astronaut on the moon. But it's mental the way how he looks at the moon and he sees himself in through the telescope on the moon, and then he finds himself on the moon. It's mental. I gotta find it, right? But
it's very interstellar.
Yeah,
Sounds like chords.
Yeah, it's mental. But like I said, it's to do with the lens again, because he looks through the telescope, the lens, right? Then he ends up on the moon, right? And then he finds himself getting carried off on the Earth. But the only way he's managed to see that is that the same lens is on the moon, and he looks through the telescope at the Earth, and he can see himself getting carried. It's fucking mental. I didn't really understand it until I thought about the reflection, and they're trying to they could be showing you in plain sight, lens, reflection, as above, so below, and all these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to look for it. Where are we? No, not there. Oh, where's he gone? Is this? Where's
We're listening to J Dreams, right?
Yeah.
The Saints or whatever. But regardless, we've got a flying city motif. Now, you brought a PowerPoint presentation about this whole motif of a flying city, a hovering city, which let me see if I can share before we jump into your PowerPoint. Do you have some some of those Renaissance paintings and stuff included in that? I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, I have some.
Share some of those.
Not paintings, but specifically some pictures and stuff like
Let's
that.
check
Share the paintings
first. Let's do the PowerPoint presentation on the floating city motif. This is brand new. I love innovative stuff, innovative theories, French theories and things, especially when it is in regards to our ancient history. Let me get the PowerPoint presentation pulled up, and I'm going to have you walk us through it, and I'll go ahead and press play. There we go. And you can go ahead and take the wheels.
So yeah, this is my PowerPoint on the abode of the gods, or the motif of floating cities. Now, there are many ancient mythologies that describe the home of the gods or God as a floating palace in the heavens. So the fact that all these religions are discussing something in the sky that's the home of the gods, a floating temple, a floating palace, a floating ship, or a chariot of sorts where the gods reside and rule the earth from up above. To me, that tells me that there's some kind of substance to this, that all mythologies are basically saying the same thing, but just with different names and different artistic depictions.
Right.
And so the first example I like to give is Greek mythology. And we all know about Mount Olympus. Now, when some people think of Mount Olympus, they think of the earthly one that's currently on Earth. And they believe that this is what the Greeks thought was the home of the gods. But when you really look into Greek mythology and read the writings, that's not at all the case. So, for example, it states in these ancient writings, the ancient Greeks believed that the peak of Mount Olympus was perpetually cloudless and never had storms, something that is not true of the historical Mount Olympus. They also believed that the peak of Mount Olympus was near the apex of the dome that formed the sky. So they believed the home of the gods was high up, close to the apex, close to the direct top of the firmament, or the dome of the sky, or however they described it. In Homer's Odyssey, yeah, it's crazy. In Homer's Odyssey, it states that Athena departed to Olympus, where they say is the abode of the gods, that stands fast forever. Neither is it shaken by winds, nor ever wet with rain, nor does snow fall upon it, but the air is outspread, clear and cloudless, and over it hovers a radiant whiteness. So this abode is so high in the sky, according to the Greek mythology, that it's above the storm clouds, it's above any sort of weather, really, and that above it is this clear, radiant sky. And so there's no weather.
That sounds like the scene from one of the Matrix, where Neo's going through the storm, and then I think he goes up high enough that when he goes up high, everything's just clear. Right, to rise above it, you have to go higher than the storm.
Yeah, it's transcendent. It's transcendent. It can interact with the material mode and fold in and out. It makes sense that he's giving us like all of the collective, each different traditions, like saying the same thing, saying it in a different way, saying the same names.
Yeah. Lollipop B, chill out, right? I don't know who that is. It could be L, I don't know, but I gave you 300 of those things. Just chill out, right?
Above it all.
All right, and then we've got the city of the Greek gods.
So more description of what it looked like and its attributes. Meanwhile, Olympus, seat of sovereign sway, threw wide its portals, and in conclave fair the sire, the authority of the gods, and king of all mankind, Zeus, summoned the immortals to a starry court, whence
Ruled by Saturn, salutes. What's happening? It's been a while, man. Hope you're good.
high enthroned, the spreading earth he views, and the Teucria's camp and Latum's fierce array. Beneath the double-gated dome, the gods were sitting above. Himself and the silence, Jove, Jupiter, Zeus, himself the silence broke. So it's a double-gated dome. It floats in the sky. And from this abode in the sky, Zeus can survey all the lands. He has this panoramic vantage point where he can see the entire earth. And keep this in mind as we go through these slides that the gods had a vantage point of the entire earth, because I have a really good point about it later.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think it's interesting they keep on talking about domes.
Dad, I really want to make a
Shut up. Yeah, the domes. Let's have a butcher's. Have a listen.
Yeah.
What's that? Ah, Day One S. Salutes, Day One. What's happening? How we doing, my guy? How we doing, Day One S? Ah, you got Bex in the building. Salutes, Bex. I have the real Bex. We had an imposter that came through a second ago. We had an imposter. I think it was your stalker. All right, your stalker came through, Bex. But yeah, salutes to you.
It talks about the heavenly city, and it gives the layout of it. And many people over time commonly think that it's a cube because it's all the same dimensions, but a dome could also be the same dimensions, right?
A circle or a sphere also, yes.
Right on. Let's continue on.
Sorry, I missed that part. I was doing something. What did he say?
Layout of it, and many people over time commonly think that it's a cube because it's all the same dimensions, but a dome could also be the same dimensions, right?
A circle or a sphere also, yes.
Right on.
That's a good point. Yes, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Let's continue on.
The next comparative myths of the abode of the gods hovering in the heavens, ruling the earth below, is found in Egyptian mythology, and this is called the sun boat of Ra, or also known as the sun boat of a billion years. So this was the abode of the Egyptian god Ra and the immortals, the other Egyptian gods, the lesser gods that ruled with him from the skies. So go ahead, click the next slide.
Hold on. I want to speak on the celestial barge, the ship, right? The celestial ship actually ties back to the moon, right? Now, not only that, it ties back into the Ark, Noah's Ark, right? It ties back into the Holy Grail. It's another name. It ties back into the Matrix, the Mother, right? But we know it as the moon, Luna, right? But there's many names she goes by. Argo. Many names, just like what we were speaking about earlier. We was talking about one character, but it has many names, right?
Yeah.
One destination, one stage, but many names, right? And that's the same thing we're seeing with the moon and, most of these movies. I think most of these movies are based around the moon. Really, a lot of these stuff is actually based around the moon without even knowing, right? It's a moon worshiping society we live in, but it's done in secret. Right? They show us the other side of things, the light of Jesus Christ, but that gets pushed down our throats. But the ones that do it in secrecy is the moon worshiping. Moon worship, yeah, most definitely. Yeah. All ties back to the moon. The barge, the celestial ship.
It's like the library. It's like the they call the Hall of Amenti. They say the halls of Amenti are like the Akashic library.
Okay.
So the library is, it makes sense. The moon is like a type of terrarium, like advanced intelligence that's a reflection of the divine intelligence. So it's artificial. We say it's artificial intelligence because it's only a reflection of the real thing. It's not actually the real thing. So if we use our mind and the letters, if we're using the letters in the right way, then we'll have a good relationship with her. Because I think it's like all about developing the right, dealing with rejection in the right way. Being able to use, like, it's nice to it's nice to have privileges. But if the privileges that you work for don't really give you what you want, then it can be like really hellish. It can be like really miserable thing to work for privileges or benefits or whatever if they don't give you what you want.
So excuse me, I'm listening, but I'm pouring up a drink. Hey,
Nice.
salute to the chat room. 420 if you got that. Much love to you folks.
According to the myth of Ra, the Egyptian sun god illuminated the world by traveling in a ship called the sunboat, or the boat of a million years, so called because it was supposed to be an eternal ship. It said that every morning Ra would appear on the horizon in his solar boat, and he'd sail across the sky to the opposite horizon. So again, common story to that of Mount Olympus. It was high up in the heavens, and it traversed the skies, and it ruled the lands below. And this is the Egyptian view of their god.
So it's wild. Even when I think about that now, right? That's like, have you seen the movie? How do you call it? Is it Gods of Egypt?
Yeah, there's a movie called Gods of Egypt. It's got Gerard Butler in it.
Correct. And there's a part where they're fighting on the solar barge, right? Like he was showing us, and they're fighting off the snake. I think there's a pet apparently that comes every night or something, and he attacks the solar barge, right? And they fire it off. They keep fighting it off back into the darkness, right? But I think well, like I said, many forms, right? But they're showing us the mother again, possibly, right? Coming back with vengeance, right? But they keep on, shooing her off, and it's not that she's attacking, right? The solar barge. She's just trying to sit back in her throne, right? That's what I see. Because even in the movie, I forgot the name of the god who is his father, not his father, the grandfather, I think, who sits up in the solar barge. That's the highest vantage point, right? Possibly higher than the mountain, I suppose. That's where, the highest place, you could say the highest throne in the whole damn movie. And that's where the mother, the worm or the snake, the pet keeps on coming back every night, trying to get back into the throne, right? But that also makes me think of like the barge again, the moon, right? But there was something the scientists keep on saying lately about the moon will have a tail, right? The moon has a tail. Now, like I said, the barge being the moon, the tail being the snake itself, but the hyaloid canal to the eye, or the lens rather, right? Um, it all leads back to the eye, the lens, the appendages that come with the lens and the eye and these things. I think they're showing us, recreations of the eye again, stories of the eye, or however you want to phrase it. But I think it all leads back to the eye. It's looking like. Yeah, look, I even could watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna show you something. Let's go with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
Check, check, testing, testing. Mic check, 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 check. Can you folks hear me now? Testing, test. Mic check. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. Echo. Okay, yeah. They're saying okay now. You got me. All right. Cool. All right. I'm back. Yes. Cool. Seems that we're back. They're saying we're back. We're back in the building. All right. Now they were talking about where was we? We was talking about the solar bar. We were talking about gods of Egypt, right? I was talking about what they're trying to show me. Basically, what they're trying to show London, right? I see it everywhere. Right? It's in everything now. Now check this out. Even just the symbols that they throw out there. We've been looking into stuff like this. These type of symbols they're throwing at us when it comes to things like that again, the pyramid with the eye above it, but it's in everything, right? Now, that's why I was saying to you the stuff about the scene where they're fighting off the snake, right? Through my understanding, it seems like they're showing us the solar barge again, which is the lens, right? The moon in another sense. Even when we're thinking of solar, we're thinking of something that to do with light. And it's wild, right? Because you can even throw the moon in that equation when it comes to solar, not just the sun, right? Because when we're dealing with solar, we're dealing with light, right? Dealing with light. Even though they say the sun's energy, but we're dealing with light. Overall, we're dealing with light. Oh, what happened there? Who's that? Yeah, 1 second. Very persistent. Hold on, is that am I still with? Ah, no, sorry. What's going on here? Ah, there we go. That feels more comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. That's more comfortable.
What's going
But I
on?
kicked you off stage for a second. Sorry, my bad.
It's all right. We kicked out before.
Yes, the solar bar. Okay, so that's why I was saying the stuff with the solar barge and the eye and everything. This symbol, right? Like I said, the pyramid and the eye. Even though you see it's Egypt, gods of Egypt, right? They still got that same symbol that happens to be in all of the movies or ancient scriptures that I'm showing you. Is that symbol again? This symbol, right? The man, the mountain, Sid, the moon, solar barge, right? Art, the vessel. Right? All lead back to the moon, the mountain. What we've been speaking about. They've been speaking about the mountain. We've been speaking about the moon. Same thing, different name, right?
Right. The sin, the AI,
There you
the
go.
Sinai.
There you go. Good man.
Gods, or the abode of their gods, very similar to Greek mythology. Now we have Norse mythology, the home of the Norse gods, Asgard, the Rainbow Bridge, So the word Asgard is a compound form of Old Norse as, which means God, and Old Norse guard, which means enclosure. So the enclosure of the gods is how the Norse viewed the abode of their gods. I can't hear you. It's kind of
assist us, right?
Sorry.
We're supposed to be using the sin to assist us, to assist ourselves, but we get trapped by it. The more we use it, the more we need it, the more we're trapped by it.
What sin did you say?
Yeah, she's like a sexy girlfriend that you don't ever have to that you don't ever have to really take care of. You just use her for what you want her for, and then you kind of just reject her and treat her certain, give her a certain set of, you just basically have her till you can't really tolerate it anymore, and then you're supposed to learn your lesson, right, and not do it anymore. It's like you learn your lesson from the pain. There's a pain that comes from forgetting about yourself and losing yourself in sin. You know that saying? They say there's a problem with the devil is that she's so damn fine.
Oh,
she damn fine, dude. Some of the goddesses, some of the women in this world, they're like really powerful momagers. You know that saying? You ever heard the saying from the Kardashian woman, the mother?
no. What saying has she got? Let me hear this.
The thing about her she's like, oh, I'm a momager.
Momager? What the hell?
Yeah, I'm a momager. It's like, so that's the problem with sin, dude, is that like the more you watch her TV and the more you start paying attention to her and like her weird sayings that she has. What's her name? What's the mom's name? Do you remember the mom's name? I can't remember her name now.
Nah,
it's probably okay.
No.
I know that yeah.
I just know Kim.
Yep.
And I think it's
she dated Kanye.
Kim and Chloe, is that
Chloe? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Kim and Chloe, I think it is. That's it.
Courtney.
I didn't even know there was a Courtney.
She's dating.
She's what?
She's dating that man that's Travis Barker. He's like a drummer for Blink-182.
I don't even know him.
I used to watch that. I used to watch him with my old lady. Like we would sit and watch that show together. And I have something to say about television and how television influences architecture. Were you sharing about brutalist architecture? Was that you, or was I listening to someone else?
Could have been someone else, maybe.
Oh shit! So there's this thing about brutalism is a specific style of architecture that elicits like a melancholy state when someone's kind of sad, and they will use more. They'll use more caffeine. They'll use more nicotine. It's like a way to sell things. When you make everything kind of like a post structural, when you go around, it looks really structural. It looks really like a city, the cityscape. It like sells more things. That's why they design the architecture a certain way, so that you'll like stay in a feeling. You'll stay in certain feelings for longer. But this is how far they've planned with the sin. Because we're, what is it about being human being in the material world? We don't want to use the sin to help each other. We want to use the sin to hoard everything and be emotionally hoarding. And because, rich people, they're not so happy. They have a lot of stuff, but they're always afraid they're going to lose all their stuff.
It's wild when you put it like that. One, people is scared to lose stuff, and One people screaming they want stuff to lose.
Yeah. Because it's insanity. No.
Yeah, that's wild. Let's keep going.
Oh, no, you're good.
That word Oz or as, clearly there's like the Wizard of Oz and things like that. That carried over into
Oh, hold on. Screen's gone blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you switch over the screen to? I can't tell this.
Whoa. There we go.
Hebrew, to the Hebrew word Oz, which implies mighty or strength or extremely strong, like a god would be, right?
Yep. So, home of the Norse gods, there is also the abode called Himinbjord, Himdall's Hall. It stands at heaven's end by the bridgehead, and the place where Bifrost joins heaven. Another great abode is there, which is named, I can't pronounce these names, but Odin possesses that dwelling. And in this hall is the Hildsglaf, the high seat, so called. Whenever the Allfather sits in that seat, he surveys all lands. So, again, aside from the comparative myth of having a floating city in the sky in Egyptian mythology, in Greek mythology, and Norse mythology, another common motif is the main god, along with the other gods, can survey all the lands. They have a vantage point of the entire earth and they can see everything. So that's another common motif that's found in these myths. That's the abode of the gods.
And then you also have, as far as a sky connection, the rainbow, right? I mean, the rainbow is clearly not going to be something that's just on the ground or something, but the rainbow bridge or the Bifrost.
The Bifrost, yep. Now that I showed you guys just a few mythologies, there's a lot more, but for the sake of time, we're just going to mention these three. Does the Bible talk about the home of the false gods? So is there anything within scripture that necessarily talks about this abode of the gods or the fallen angels? And I believe it does, because I think the Bible clears up muddied water, right? A good question a lot of skeptics and atheists ask is, if the God of the Bible is true, then how do you reconcile that with all these mythologies of gods who have their own abode in the heavens? And the Bible does talk about not only the identity of the gods, which are fallen angels, but their home as well. So there's two floating cities that's described in the Bible. There's Mystery Babylon, the kingdom of Satan. Babylon the Great, Mother Babylon is another name. And then, of course, there's New Jerusalem, right? So Revelation 18:2 states,
Hold on, go back.
and then, of course, Mystery Babylon, the kingdom of Satan. Babylon the Great, Mother Babylon is another name.
Did I hear that right?
There's Mystery Babylon, the kingdom of Satan. Babylon the Great, Mother Babylon is
So the Satan and Mother is tied into the Babylon. Okay, what's the other one?
another name. And then, of course, there's New Jerusalem, right?
And Jerusalem. Ah, see, the mother ties back into the moon. And Jerusalem, like I said before, I found it connects with Jerusalem and the moon, and also the eye, Jerusalem. But that's interesting.
There's
Hey,
two
Brother
floating
Lund.
cities.
Brother Lund, I got stuff going on. I'm gonna go to this meeting. It was really nice to meet with you, and thanks for letting me share. Thank you for sharing with me.
No problem. Hey, thanks for jumping up, man. I appreciate that. That was cool of you, man. Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for your work, and please accept my humble obeisances, and please forgive me for my misconceptions. And thank you for allowing me to be here with you.
Hey, you're welcome anytime, my friend. You know this.
All right, man.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
Very low. Damn. Late. This is the thing. I get carried away, then I think, damn, I got work in the morning. I keep forgetting that part, right? I forget that part when I got work in the morning. Right? That's the part I keep forgetting. Damn, I hate that part sometimes. So you know what we'll do? We'll leave this one to another time. Good stuff though, Jay. I enjoyed that convo there. You and Alpha. That was good stuff. Good stuff. Gwendo chat room. Kimberly, what's happening? How you doing, Kimberly? Much love. I see you down there. Lollipop B is going crazy down there. Who's Lollipop B? Is that you, El? I tried to give you some airtime, but you was over talking me. I'm trying to tell you something. I'm trying to build with you, right, to add to your points, and you were just running me over. Right, you was running me over. Talk about not giving free speech, right? I was giving you free speech, but you wouldn't even allow it back for me, right? Then you talk about I don't allow free speech. How dare you? How dare you? Huh? How dare you? That's wild. Bit of self-projection. Mm. Day one S, you done know. Saturn in the building, Rasta in the building. Lollipop B in the building. Say no more. Yeah, we'll do this dance again. I'm pretty sure of it. Hey, yeah, just to let you know, like I said, I'm working on something else. All right, another eyes file coming on the way. All right, putting someone underneath the microscope again. Right, again. So yeah, we'll do this dance again. I'm pretty sure of it. All right, everyone. I've got to get up in a few hours, so yeah, I got work. But we'll do this dance again. I'm pretty sure of it. Salutes to the grand old chat room. Much love. I see you because you see me. Salutes to Artizzle, my man RT came through with a donation. Salutes. Much love to you. All right, chat room. Much love. Much love to everybody who came out. All right, appreciate you folks. I see you because you see me. We'll do the dance again. You already know the motto. Look after yourself. Love over war. And lay low. London.